Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's get this face from this to this. So we're gonna get ready and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. So this is the Beauty by Bori. It is absolutely amazing. It is not waterproof, but we're gonna do something that's very natch. I'm using a grippy primer. It is so weird to do an English speaking video after, I don't even know when was my last one, but it feels nice and I'll tell you why. I am half English, half Hungarian in a way. I was born in Pécsen, in Hungary, 1994, January the 20th. And I know what you're thinking, so you're an Aquarius, correct. We were living there until about the year 2000. So I was 6 years old when we moved to Los Angeles, California with my family. I have two brothers and a mom and a dad. We moved to the US. We did not speak any English at all. In fact, when I was thirsty and I wanted to go to the bathroom for water, my teacher said, "Excuse me, but where are you going?" Because I would just get up in the middle of story time. So I looked at my brother and I was like, "Szomjas vagyok," which means I'm thirsty in Hungarian. And then he would just be like, so that was how we started our time in Los Angeles. We didn't know any English. My brother and I enrolled in preschool, so we picked up the language. We also watched a lot of SpongeBob, a lot of movies, Fairly Odd Parents, like a lot of cartoons. We would still speak Hungarian at home. We still do, but nonetheless, we picked up the language, and after a few years we moved back to Hungary. At this point, my brother and I forgot Hungarian. In fact, I actually had to repeat a year in Hungarian school because I did not remember anything. I will say this concealer combo is beautiful. We moved back to Hungary and we start living life. We got socialized, acclimatized to the Hungarian culture again. I'm going to Hungarian school. In 2005, we then moved to the UK. And the reason why this is significant, because up to this point, I knew English, but I understood very little from British English, and especially Birmingham English, because there's a lot of slang words and a lot of different ways that words are pronounced. I had a very hard time understanding English again, just because of how different it was to American English. That's why a lot of people get confused by my accent, because I do speak mostly with an American accent. Not an exact American accent, obviously, but why I speak like this. And I think the reason why is because I learned to speak in English in LA when we lived there. And plus, we also learned to speak English through movies and friends. And I think that's just how we picked up the language. This leaves a lot of people confused still to this day as to why I speak like this. That's the reason. My brothers and I still jokingly speak in British English. We say like slangs and stuff because it was just something that bonded us, I think, when we were living in England. In fact, my little brother speaks perfect Birmingham accent because he was younger than us, and so when we moved to England, that was his first chance to learn English from completely foundational level. Like, he speaks Birmingham English like a local. I'm hoping this is making sense, because this is why when somebody asks me, "Oh, where are you from?" it's such a complicated question, because I'm like, do you mean my ethnicity? Do you mean where I was born? Do you mean where I grew up? Do you mean my mother language? What should I do? Shall I give you a 10-minute backstory of my family? And that's why I thought I'd share this in case you didn't know. Anyway, cut to university. We went to a public secondary school with my two brothers, and my older brother moved back to Hungary for medical school. My younger brother also moved back to Hungary shortly thereafter for school, and I stayed in the UK for university. I went to Oxford Brookes, and I was living there. I had my boyfriend there. I was working there. At the time, I was working in Bare Minerals as a makeup artist, so shout out. Anywho, I finished uni. After that, I moved back to Hungary for a few months, and I actually took part in a beauty pageant called Pécsen, which is a local beauty pageant for the city that I was from. I came in 6th by the way. And there is, population is like 16,000. I might be wrong, I'll check the statistics here, but I was pretty proud of myself considering the fact that I wasn't following any rules. Because they had rules like, oh, you can't eat sugar, like you have to work out every day in this competition, and like you have to drink your protein powders every single day. And I was like, I will not be doing that because I have free will. I was there for a good time, you know what I mean? Not a long time. Anyway, so I did that. I did Pécsen, and then after that, I was like, what should I do? And I really loved living in Pécsen, and I didn't want to go back home. So I was like, do you know what? Should I move here? And that's when my first inspiration came to move to Hungary. But anyway, I go back home to the UK, and my best friend and I decide to go on like a trip to Italy. Now we're 21, we're both finished with school, we're like, let's travel. So we do that. Time of my life, by the way. And then after that, I was just over the fact that my family was so far away. I was so jealous of my friends who could just say, oh, I'm going to my nan's. And I'd be so sad that I couldn't see my grandma for months and months and months at a time. And just basically just being far away from my cousins. And I really missed that really deep sense of home. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did. And I still think of the UK as home, as my second home. But it's different. It's like a different home. Let me get my lashes. Did my lashes because I thought I can't speak anyway while I do my lashes. Essence/Princess. I feel like I say this in every single video, but it is my absolute favorite. Follow me on TikTok. So where was I? So we do Italy. I remember distinctly, I come down the stairs, I was having coffee with my mom. I looked at my mom and I was like, you know what? I want to move to Hungary. And she's like, awesome. I'll be honest, my motivation primarily was to do my master's degree. I just felt like I still wanted to continue education for a little bit. I put 2 and 2 together and thought that I would move home to be closer to my family, to do my master's degree, and also to move out. So this was my driving force to move back to Hungary, which I did in 2017. So I can't believe I've been here for, what, like 8 years? Jesus Christ. And it was a huge culture shock, I'll say that for sure, but that can be its own different series. I still very much enjoy speaking in English. I feel like my brain gets a break because when I'm speaking in Hungarian, I feel like my brain is doing push-ups and somersaults and squats and jumps, and when I get to speak English, my brain is just like gets to relax. Even like certain words and stuff take so much energy to say. Things like 𝓢𝔃𝓲𝓪𝓼𝓃𝓲, like hyaluronic acid, it's just like it takes so hard to say. And this is why I will be speaking in English in videos, because yes, I am Hungarian, yes, I was born here, yes, I do enjoy pálinka, but I grew up outside of Hungary, and so that makes me a mixture of things. That's just what I am. Take it or leave it. I'm gonna do my hair, change my outfit, I'll be right back. So anywho, that's my story. Long story short, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And as always, I'm gonna propagate for every woman to put their best foot forward in life. It's been a long video and I really enjoyed talking to myself in this microphone. Thank you for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye.